Thank you all very much for having joined us today on this very first event and this of the 3-minute story challenge. We're going to have, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking videos of this, so all the speakers know that and the storytellers know that, and we'll be having a video made, and we'll be putting that up sometime on YouTube and on our channels on the Storytellers Night. So, what is the challenge today? The challenge is very interesting. We have five storytellers, 5 people who have accepted the challenge. And the challenge is that they share a true story. And that true story is going to be told by them in 3 minutes. Now, I'm just going to share with you, just watch me for a minute there. We have a timer, going down timer. I'm sorry, let me put this on. And this timing, I'm going to show you an example with 5 seconds, right? So can all of you see the timer? I've shared it on my screen. Yes? And I'm going to show how you do it. We're going to have the timer. Timing is going to go down backwards. Bingo. So as soon as you hear this sound, you know that your time, your 3 minutes is up. And then the storytellers, Mike, I'm going to put off. Our 5 speakers are, let me just read out their names to you. Roman is here. He's speaker number 1. Storyteller number 2 is Naomi. Storyteller number 3, hello Naomi. Storyteller number 3 is Peter Hines. I give you Peter's surname for a reason. Storyteller number 4 is Karine. And storyteller number 5 is Peter Hall. So ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 storytellers who are going to share their stories with you. Are we ready? But I think a lot of people might have got their videos off. Right?
I can't see black screens either. Never mind.
Yeah.
I can't see Peter Hall.
Yeah. Peter thing. So,
Never mind.
Roman, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, as soon as Roman says the first word of his story, I'm going to put on the time, start the timer, and we're looking at the countdown. So, ladies and gentlemen, Roman.
Thank you for introduction. And I would like to tell you about 3 sad things that happened to me during the lockdown in Hamburg. And it was on one of the Wednesdays, not this Wednesday, but the last Wednesday. And I went out to buy a croissant to the bakery. And the atmosphere was quite gloomy. The queue was long, and we were all standing with 2 meters distance between us, and all wearing masks. But suddenly I heard laughter, and I saw that just 10 meters away from us there is a group of construction workers, and they stand in a circle, they drink coffee, they laugh, they clap each other on the shoulders, and they wear no masks. So I saw that there is a swarm of coronaviruses that are flying among us, visitors of the bakery, and ready to attack the very first moment when we start misbehaving. But they cannot attack the construction workers because this sign on the fence. Betretung der Baustelle für Unbefugte ist verboten. And the same day, I went for a short walk in the evening, and there is a restaurant, and it's open for pickup orders. But when I was walking, it was already closed. However, the employees were sitting probably on the smallest table there, all around the same small table, and were having their own dinner. And then maybe it was like 10 centimeters distance between the employees. And one old lady who was observing also this through the window just a few meters away, said, "Das kann doch nicht sein." But the most sad thing happened to me after I already came home. Because during the previous 2 weeks, I found the possibility to take part in a Swedish speech club. Because I'm learning Swedish, and it was a nice possibility to practice without actually going to Sweden. But then I got a message from the organizer, and he said, because we don't have so strict lockdown measures in Sweden, we decided to put our club back into the physical location, and we will not have any online meetings longer. And there were only 2 words that came to me after I read this message: Alter Schwede. Thank you. That was all from me.
Super, super, super. Great. Great, great, great. Roman, you did it with 12 seconds left on the clock. Excellent, excellent story. I like how you put in 3 different kind of stories into that whole story which you shared with us. Now, thank you very much for sharing this story of yours.
Thank you
and bye. Right. Dankeschön. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the 3 minutes story challenge is a new concept. We thought about it with a few friends of mine. We got around to thinking about it. And a lot of people said Zoom is becoming extremely important. People are doing a lot of shows on Zoom. And we need something unique. We need something different. So we just came up with this idea of a 3 minute story challenge. So it's shorter. It's maximum half an hour to 45 minutes. Each storyteller comes on for a shorter time. The storyteller has the tension of delivering a story within 3 minutes, having the quality of a story, but also keeping it within that time. What's important for us is also your feedback. So do write into us on your Facebook on our Meetup, because we've only done it through Meetup. We've expanded to Facebook, etc. later. And give us your feedback. And if you want to share stories with us, please write into us. We just have to be certain that you're agreeable to having it video. Just one more minute. I just got to let somebody in. And that's it. So now our next storyteller of the evening. A lovely storyteller, somebody who I've loved for a long, long time and who's been on our Storytellers Night stage quite often. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me invite on the stage or in front of the camera, Naomi. Naomi, please.
On the 21st of September, 1967, we got married. He had a job in Munich. So on the 18th of October, 1968, we arrived in Munich and moved into a small cellar room, which was our first home here. In December, I found a job. We moved into a slightly larger flat. We both changed our jobs, found better jobs, moved into an even larger flat and got better jobs. And then we built a house. Now, after we'd built the house, things sort of stagnated, and we realized that we had been working so hard that we didn't really know each other anymore. And in those days, marriage counseling wasn't such a big thing. And we decided to get divorced. So on the 11th of April, 1985, we got divorced and became the very best of friends. And we're still friends to this day. And I'm friends with his wonderful wife, who is the best thing that could possibly have happened to him. And I'm very grateful, because I realized that I love life as a single person. It's wonderful. So if you like, you could call that a real success story. It started at the end of Well, how did it start? In October 1967, I said we got married in 67. We got married in 68. October 67, I arrived home from work one day and I found these papers on the doorstep. And at the top it said, "Do you want to meet new people in your town?" And I thought, you bet I do. I'm new in town. I want to meet a nice young man. And my flatmate said the same thing, yeah. And it promised us 4 nice young men. She wanted blonde, I wanted dark, so we filled the forms out, sent them off. We even got some addresses back, but we didn't look at them because in those days, women didn't go chasing men, you waited to be chased by the men. And one day, at the very end of November, the doorbell rang. In those days, not everybody had telephones, and we didn't. So the doorbell rang, and I went to the door, and there was this fun, jumpy guy there who said, "Hi, I'm Dave. Are you Naomi?" And that's how it began. And that was the very, very first ever computer dating service experimental part. And that's our success story, and we are their success story.
Fantastic, Naomi, fantastic. Lovely story, lovely story. You made it with 6 seconds to spare. That's really storytelling. That is storytelling. Really clapped on. I mean, storytellers, I can't emphasize that more. You know, pushing the limit, taking yourself as near to that point. It's so lovely. It's a thrill. Wasn't it interesting for you to challenge yourself, Naomi? Yeah.
You said, because me and the red light that we know from Toastmasters, we are the best of friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, you can unmute yourself and give Naomi a round of applause. Fantastic. Yes, super. Now, what we're going to be doing, we have somebody very interesting coming up next. He's a person I met because I went to a photography evening, a club, kind of a gathering of photographers. And I heard him sharing a story. And I stood behind him. I didn't know him. And after he finished sharing the story, I said, "Hey, can you come to the Storytellers Night and share a story?" And I've known Pete since that day. And we've become quite close since that day. So ladies and gentlemen, calling onto the stage in front of the camera, Peter Heinz. I'm resetting. And Peter, as soon as you start, the timer starts.
Well, what's in a name? Let me tell you, 50 years ago, this scared little German boy was hauled off by his mother to America, not speaking one word of English. And my mother insisted that we never speak German again. We're going to be living in this country. We must live in this language. So I dove in. Thank God it was a Lutheran church. The minister, the teacher, broke a school, spoke German. So I was able to learn English very quickly. 5 years ahead, go to high school, and the only language course in high school, of course, was German. So being I understood more German than my teacher, I taught my high school German class. But I had not gotten the American grammar down because I was there in 5th grade when I came over, so I missed the grammar. Cutting forward, during my business career, the name Kaufman was hard for people. So I decided to go with my middle name, Peter Heinz. Everybody knew Heinz ketchup, so it became very easy for people to remember my name. 50 years later, I retire and move back to Germany to learn the language of my youth. I get here, go to the unmelting with my friend Charlie, who helped me fill out the forms. And I'm asking him questions, I'm filling out the forms. I turn to him and to the guy across the counter whose name I couldn't pronounce because it was Turkish. And I said, okay, I have all my information here. He picks up the form and he looks at it and he says, wirklich? Du heißt Peter Heinz Kaufmann und Deutschen? So I get my passport. I find out that my name had been transposed, and from now on, I'm known as Heinz Peter Kaufmann.
Ah, lovely. Exactly on the dot. Beautiful, beautiful. That is really, really, really fantastic. Peter, that is really fantastic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have for the evening, we have two more storytellers planned. It's just two more storytellers planned for the evening. And we have some time in hand. So let's open the stage for a while. And what do you guys think? How's your feedback? Let's have a chat. What do you think about this format? Naomi, please.
I love the format.
Fine. So we go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now a lovely lady. I got to know her, even though I should have got to know her maybe before that. I got to know her at the Storytellers Night at our events. That was right at the beginning, I think, in the second year of our Storytellers Night. And she went on stage and told the story. And since then, I've known her well, and she is a great storyteller. So, Karine, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Karine. So, Karine, please take the stage, and as soon as you start speaking, I'm going to start the clock.
Okay. I have Balinese friends. Some of you might know already from my previous stories. Their name is Putu and Wayan. I had met them on my first Bali trip, and there they had invited me to their families and to their religious festivals. On my second Bali trip, I went there together with my friend Silke. After a few days in Ubud, Putu invited us to a festival in his hometown for young people. I was really excited at this time. And I said to Silke, yes, this will be great when he invites us. You can come and it will be a very traditional festival. You'll see. The Brahman will be praying. They'll have great offerings. It will be very colorful. And you certainly have to wear a sarong, which is this Balinese hip scarf. At the time when the festival should be, Putu picked us up in Ubud and took us to his home village. On the middle of the village square was put up a tent. Inside the tent, beer tables, real beer tables. No, the tablecloth wasn't blue and white checkered, it was red and white checkered. They served beer. We celebrated a Balinese Oktoberfest. From the loudspeakers, there sounded music, Western pop music with Balinese texts. On the podium was a dancing floor. After a while of chatting and drinking beer, my friend Silke wanted to dance. We asked Putu and I said, may we dance? And Putu said, yes, of course you can dance. And then I looked at him a bit dubious and asked again, do you really think we can dance because there are only young men on the dance floor? Yes, of course you can. Just go ahead. We danced. After 2 hours, I asked him, Putu, there are still no girls on the dance floor. And why don't they come? And then he said, yes, they'll finish up serving the food and then they'll come to the dance floor. An hour later, I asked again, there are no girls still coming. Why aren't they dancing? Yes, they'll come later, he always said. At 12 again, at 1 o'clock again. And then I said to him, Putu, I don't think the girls will come to the dance floor anymore. He shrugged his shoulders and he said to me, you know, Karin, maybe they don't feel like it. The next day, I met Oh,
Sorry. Ah, I can see some people going, ha, too bad. Oh, that's really sad, Karin.
yes, I've checked the time before.
Okay. Karin, tell me, what does it feel like to have your mic being put off in the middle of an exciting story? That's quite a different, strange feeling, isn't it?
Yes, it was just the last point I wanted to say. But it doesn't feel well.
Okay, let's put it up for a vote. I want to see thumbs up if anybody wants to hear the last part. I see one thumbs up. I see another one. Okay, they want you to share that. Come, let's finish it.
Okay, when I met Putu the next day, Putu's sister the next day in Ubud, I asked her, why didn't you come to dance? And then she looked at me and she said, oh, it's not proper for women to dance to this kind of music. And I looked at her and I said, okay, we have danced all night. We had a lot of fun. And when we came to all the restaurants in Ubud during the next few days, we were always greeted with a really broad smile by the waitresses, Balinese waitresses and waiters. And they all laughed at us and said, hey, I know you. You have danced with us at the village festival.
When I woke up this morning, I had a story in my head. I had a story. It was a 3-minute story, definitely. But then as the day progressed, I can't remember. I've been trying to remember because I see Peter Hall is not there. But I want to introduce somebody. We have somebody here from across the world, from New Zealand, where it's early in the morning, so maybe around 6:30. So ladies and gentlemen, you can see a friend of mine there with her specs on. Her name is Neera Grover. Neera, come on, say hi to everybody. Come on.
This is my first time on his event and I'm really enjoying it. I don't mind getting up in the morning. So it's been good.
So tell us a bit about New Zealand right now, Neera. How is it? How's the climate? How are you people? You're heading into winter.
We are heading into winter and it's 4 degrees in the morning. And I'm sitting in my bed and I told Kumar, oh, the things people have to do, for their friends, and I have to come on your program. And he said, well, women, when I don't invite you, you say, I don't invite you. And now when I invite you, you don't want to come on. And I was going to actually stop my video because I didn't want people to see me with my bad hair and all. And okay, I can get up 5 minutes early and comb my hair at least.
So thank you very much, Neera, for coming up, waking up, and getting here and meeting with us.
I'm
one thing which I
enjoying it,
like.
Kumar.
Sorry.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's really good. One thing I like about this is how we can make it international. We had a get together a couple of weeks ago as we're trying out the systems and all. And I had people we had Neera's son from, he missed out on that, but I was in touch with him from Australia. And we had I had some friends from the US also pitch in. So I like this whole concept about this makes us international. It's sad also because the Storytellers night, that physical atmosphere of having people in front of you, being able to speak to a larger crowd is another excitement level, and which we are missing right now. But let's try and make the best of what we have. So ladies and gentlemen, please take time out. Sorry, anybody?
You can do both.
Yes, we're going to try both. I'm going to try both. I want to even modify the system a bit, and I will talk with a few of you or with all of you, whoever wants to reach out and say, listen, I want to contribute towards your idea building about this show. Please reach out, and I'll include you in the conversation. I am a person who likes to include people, so I'll include any and everybody. Even if you haven't met really physically or anything, I'll include you into our conversation on how we can develop this. So please write to me, and please step up to the challenge. I would love us to come back next week, next Friday. Let's see if we put it together. We have at least a basic number of people who can start it up. And we have people who say, on the day also, who say they're willing to share. So ladies and gentlemen, anybody wants to give any last minutes of feedback, and we can close up the evening. Anybody? Okay. Naomi, was that a hands up?
It was, but I can also write it to you.
Okay, you write it to me. Yeah.
What I think is so wonderful about this international thing is we can meet them who we would never, ever have a chance of meeting. And wouldn't it be wonderful to have 1 week on, 1 week off, so to speak, 1 week digital, online, 1 week or offline? And if you have enough people from enough different countries in the online version, then you can say, okay, one story from each country and maybe include folk stories from the different countries, not only personal stories, but folk stories from the traditional stories.
It's a very good idea, Naomi, because what I am trying to do is, I'm building on this, is I want to bring in storytellers, professional storytellers, folk storytellers, keep the true stories maybe, and have from different countries a storyteller involved here and talk about storytelling in their thing. For that, right now, this is the free version of Zoom. I will have to go on to the paid version of Zoom so that we have a bit more time, and then bring in people from different cultures. Karin, you put up your hand.
Yes, I'd like to have a few more minutes. It is so difficult to find a story that fits into 3 minutes. I have tried 3 stories when timing myself.
Okay, fine. I'll keep that in mind, and I'll wait for the feedback from everybody if they write into me and meet up on wherever, and then we'll take a call on that. But I'll keep that in mind, Karin.
Yeah,
Peter, you want to say something?
I agree with Karin. I think 5 minutes, if we're going to do this kind of international format, definitely needs to be 5 minutes.
Okay, fine. 5 minutes. I see Annette is putting up her thumbs on that. I see more people. So, okay, we'll take it then to 5 minutes unless we get a bit more feedback that we keep at 3 minutes. And I will try and see that we have somebody else as I want to have a co-host and we can write it together. We'll see how that works. And that co-host is also going to be the international storyteller over time. At the beginning, it might be somebody from just Munich to work out and get things ironed out. And then I want to get people from different time zones in different countries. So ladies and gentlemen, they've told me I've got to shut down the thing because the free session is about to finish. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you for being there. Thank you.